Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite white colonizer coming to you live from Israel, the Holy Land, Tall, the traveling clad here. And today we're looking at some hard-hitting journalism from Hanania Naftali.
Palestinians already have a country. It's called Jordan. That's not an opinion, it's history. Listen, everybody is losing their minds because Trump suggested relocating Palestinians from Gaza, willingly by the way, to neighboring Arab countries. But let's calm down and look at some facts.
By the way, if you didn't know that Jordan really is Palestine, it's time you really open your ears for this one.
Start with 1920, the San Remo Conference. The world powers carved up the collapsing Ottoman Empire and handed Britain the job of governing Palestine. But then, Britain sliced off 77% of Palestine and created Transjordan. Over half of Jordan's population identifies as Palestinian. Now, let's talk about 1948. King Abdullah of Jordan invaded the newly born state of Israel. His goal, to crown himself ruler of a so-called Greater Palestine. He admitted that Jordan was Palestine. Fast forward to Six-Day War in 1967. Israel liberated its ancient lands from illegal Jordanian occupation. Until that point, the Arabs didn't call themselves Palestinians. This sudden shift in identity came only after 1967, when the narrative was rewritten to frame Israel as the villain and Palestinians as an oppressed nation. The history of this land has been Jewish for thousands of years. The Bible, archaeology, and ancient records all confirm it. The Palestinians were handed Jordan on a silver platter, yet they still cry victimhood. Jordan is Palestine, Palestine is Jordan, period.
So I want to look at some of the things here in Hanania's video. It's a good video. It explains it. I just want you guys to point out a few things. So here, Yasser Arafat, it's around 67, by the way, that Palestinians started adopting this fishnet kafia, which actually, the name kafia comes from Kufa, a city in Iraq, because this scarf is actually known as a shmah. I made a whole video on it. Look it on my channel. It was worn by the ancient fishing peoples of Iraq. People like my family, Jewish people who used to live in Iraq, has nothing to do with Palestine. Palestinians culturally appropriated the kafia in 67. That's when it really became like a proper Palestinian article of clothing. And they started wearing it as a item of terrorism in the first and the second intifada, to hide their faces, for muqawama, for terrorism / resistance.
When
so just keep that in mind when you see that kafia. This only really started getting popularized in Palestinian society around 67, including the flag. I have an amazing video coming about this soon. This flag right here, each one of these colors on the flag counts for a different dynasty of the Islamic caliphates. Black, white, green. Green is for the Fatimids. I think white is for the Abbasids. The black is for the Umayyad. And the red is for the Hashemite dynasty. The Hashemite dynasty is the current dynasty that colonized Jordan, or whatever Transjordan was supposed to be, Palestine, and is ruling Jordan. It's not to say anything bad about the Hashemite king, because that's not who I'm going for right now. But what I'm saying is the Hashemite king, the Hashemite dynasty, is from Saudi Arabia. They have nothing to do with the Levant. That color red on the Palestinian flag, this color right here, the red color, has nothing to do with the Levant, with Palestine. It has nothing to do with this part of the land. It has to do with Saudi Arabia and even lower down. It's a dynasty that came from further south. They trace their ancestry back to Mecca and Medina, the cities of Muhammad, the Prophet. They have nothing to do with Jordan. Jordan was ancestrally Levantine land, and it was shared by some pre-Islamic Arab Bedouin tribes and some post-Islamic Bedouin tribes, including parts of southern Syria. But it was not an Arab country. It was not Arab land, and it was definitely not Palestinian. Has nothing to do with Palestine, has nothing to do with Hashemites, has nothing to do with Arabs as a whole, especially not an Arab Hashemite dynasty. I'm not saying an effort here to take back Jordan. Israel should take back Jordan, but in these partition plans, there was nothing made here to protect Jewish people. It was all going to be Palestine, and the idea was, once they partitioned it, a land for the Jews, a land for the quote-unquote Palestinians, for the Arabs, another Arab country. You got it already. You already have it in Jordan. Jordan has fertile land in the north. above Amman. It has beautiful tourism sites. It has holy sites from the Bible. It has incredible, incredible places. I've been to Jordan myself. And it has some decent people that I've spoken to and connected with recently. They need to start adopting the idea that Jordan is really Palestine. And what Jordan's destiny has always been to be Palestine. Doesn't mean the name of Jordan has to change. But for fuck's sake, look at the flag, people.
And created.
Look at the flag. Hanania points out to it. It's the same exact flag. There's a Palestinian flag. There's a Jordanian flag. There's literally, the only difference is the star. It's the same exact flag. And remember that this flag has nothing to do with Palestine. This flag has nothing to do with the land of Israel. Has nothing to do with the Holy Land. All four of these colors, every one of the colors on this flag call back to a different Islamic caliphate from Saudi Arabia. Every single one of them that colonized the rest of Egypt from Iraq. Each one of those colors tells a story of how they colonized a different area. They have nothing to do with these people. Keep that in mind. Hanan Naftali is absolutely right. Doesn't mean I don't love Palestinians. Doesn't mean I don't love Arabs. But as a white colonizer, I feel like I have to stand on the pedestal and say, enough is enough. Halas. The bullshit is no longer going to be bought by us. And that's the truth. Thanks for supporting my content. I love you guys a long time. Goodbye, class.
If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.